Turkey's unique and rising role in the international arena has been much mentioned nowadays, but this is actually nothing new. For more than half a century, Turkey has played this unique role, symbolized so succinctly by the bridge over the Bosphorus River that connects Asia to Europe, east to west. For South Korea, the bridge to Turkey goes back centuries to the Gokturks. But it really took hold on the battlefields of the Korean War, where Turkish troops fought side by side with Koreans. 21,212 Turkish soldiers fought for South Korea, strengthening ties between the countries. 75 years later, we are witnessing a further strengthening of these ties between the two sides. The two countries, which define each other as brother and sister countries, have recently been making widespread headlines with their military cooperation.
Turkey-South Korea cooperation is set to expand this week with the visit of Turkey's Minister of Industry and Technology.
Turkey, which has made serious breakthroughs in the defense industry, is making arms deals with South Korea. These agreements, which shocked even North Korea, may have the potential to reshape Asia. It also marks Turkey's most remarkable recent rapprochement with South Korea, and the first time in a long time that the Ankara government and the Pyongyang regime have come face to face. So what weapons will Turkey deliver to South Korea? What impact could this delivery have on North Korea? You will find the answers to all these curious questions in our video. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and like to be informed about our content before we start. Turkish defense industry companies, led by the presidency of Turkey's Presidency of Defense Industries, continue to take the Turkish defense industry by storm. At the IDEX 2025 exhibition, held in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, which is considered one of the most important organizations in the world's defense industry, Turkish defense industry companies are also showing up. Gürcan Okumuş, General Manager of Asan Group, which is one of the first companies that comes to mind when it comes to mass production in Turkey, especially in critical munitions, announced an important development at the exhibition area. Drawing attention to the company's long years of experience in various fields, Okumuş said that their current focus is on strengthening mass production, explaining that they have brought their existing infrastructure to a better point and that they have also taken steps for new production lines. Okumuş stated that they have rolled up their sleeves for production in different parts of the world. Gürcan Okumuş also shared the information that they are about to sign a contract with South Korea. According to his statements, South Korea is one of the most important military exporters in the world in recent years, and they have reached a very serious volume. Okumuş said that they sell to the world and we will sell to them. We can say that we have agreed on a tender for Mk series aircraft bombs. We expect the contract to be signed soon. Turkey can produce approximately 50,000 mechanical casings for Mk series general-purpose bombs annually. A large portion of these are exported to the United Arab Emirates-based Edge company. Since 2021, Turkey has contracted to export various quantities of Mk series bombs to the UAE and has delivered a very high number of them. In fact, Turkey is planning to sign a contract with Edge for the supply and joint production of new bombs in the near future. The annual production capacity of Mk series bombs is expected to reach 80,000 soon. So far, these bombs have been exported as mechanical bodies to more than 20 countries, including Bulgaria, Brazil, and Romania. In Azerbaijan, the bombs were exported to Azerbaijan in the configuration of a full round ammunition by outsourcing the filling service. Turkey is currently working with a local partner to establish an Mk series bomb production line in Azerbaijan. In 2025, the line will be commissioned. The line will be located in Nakhchivan and will have an annual production capacity of 10,000 complete rounds of ammunition. Turkey also has capabilities in the establishment of industrial facilities. In the ongoing investments in Gerida, Turkey has produced many things such as mixers and reactors with its own engineering capabilities. It is also in talks with different countries for the installation of the Mk series bomb production line. Turkey has plans to fill airplane bombs and TNT for 150 rounds at the facilities in Gerida. There, construction of a facility for the production and filling of explosives is underway. By mid-2025, they plan to start production of 155mm howitzer ammunition and reach full capacity by the end of the year. Their capacity will be 360,000 155mm howitzer ammunition per year. Some of these will be in different configurations, such as a range of 20 kilometers and some in 40 kilometers. Of course, it is quite clear that they will not be able to deliver all 360,000 units in full. However, Turkish officials state that their first goal is to fill 200,000 of them. The authorities say that they plan to sell the remaining part to various customers as ready-to-load hulls. This is how Turkey's development in the defence industry continues to progress. These developed capabilities will also join a part of the South Korean army. So what else do we know about the cooperation between the two countries? Significant trade agreements in the defence industry between the two countries began in 2001 when Turkey procured howitzers. This deal was one of the first major international sales of the South Korean defence industry in Turkey. Turkey and South Korea have joint ventures in howitzer production, or the Turkish version of the Fatina howitzer. There was an agreement between the countries to produce Altay, the third-generation battle tanks. South Korea also has a strong interest in the Turkish jet program. After the defence industry cooperation agreement in November 1999, Turkey's defence industry cooperation took a leap forward. Other defence industry agreements between the two countries are the Technological Cooperation Agreement for Quality Assurance and the Mutual Logistics Support Agreement. Turkey has since become one of the top 10 importers of Korean defence products. Turkey was Europe's most attractive market for military ground vehicles, with a budget of around $20 billion and planned procurement programs for the period between 2012 and 2021. The Agreement on Trade in Services between the Republic of Turkey and the Republic of Korea and the Investment Agreement came into effect on August 1, 2018. With South Korea's $2.24 billion investment in Turkey and Turkey entering the next defence procurement cycle for defence system modernisation, one wonders whether the South Korean business community can be more generous, forward-thinking, and allocate more funds. Over the years, Turkey has developed a significant amount of product and service efficiency, competence, and competitive advantage in the healthcare sectors where South Korea could be a welcome partner like Japan. Turkey has ambitions to become a Eurasian production base for mid- and high-end medical technology products and pharmaceutical and medical industries. Therefore, it is the best listing area for joint ventures to further penetrate global markets. Turkey needs to increase its product and service production capacity to improve its manufacturing competence. To this end, Turkey is pleased to cooperate with South Korean companies in these sectors. The burgeoning cooperation between the two sides is unsettling South Korea's implacable rival North Korea. Especially the recent deal on Mk series aircraft bombs is affecting the Pyongyang government. Things have been tense on the Korean peninsula for a long time, and Kim Jong-un's escalating threats against South Korea are exacerbating the unrest. But why this endless conflict? The guns fell silent 70 years ago in the Korean War, but hostilities never really ended. Today, North Korea's leader oversees an isolated society and command economy, portraying himself as the benevolent protector of a nation under siege from hostile foreign powers. Its rich, democratic southern neighbour is an industrial and technological powerhouse that exports its culture to the world, protected from the nuclear-armed North by a defence treaty with the United States. More than 1 million troops and one of the world's heaviest concentrations of weapons face off in a no-man's land that has divided the two Koreas since 1953. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is upping the ante by expanding his nuclear arsenal and threatening to unleash it on the United States and its allies. North Korean troops destroyed the main roads and rail links to the south in October 2024. The last symbolic blow to hopes for reunification.
Zelenskyy inaugurated a new Ukrainian embassy in Turkey, and a few hours ago, he met with President Erdogan.
Turkey has always supported Ukraine politically and militarily. Slava Ukraine!
There are currently two different efforts to end the war between Ukraine and Russia. One is the meeting between the US and Russian delegation in Riyadh.
U.S. and Russian officials in Saudi Arabia meeting right now with a Russian delegation led by Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov.
The other is the critical summit in Ankara between Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelenskyy and Turkish President Erdogan.
Welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you for invitation.
The immediate outcome of the talks in Riyadh is that the EU should join the peace process and even ease sanctions against Russia. It was also decided in Riyadh that Trump and Putin would meet in the near future. In Ankara, the capital of Turkey, there was a reaction that no one expected. President Erdogan stated that Ukraine's territorial integrity must be preserved and the Donbas region, including Crimea, must remain under Kiev's control. For the first time, Erdogan's statements were a very clear message to Putin. The Donbas region is rich in minerals and natural resources, which the Russian leader dreams of. It is no secret that Putin wants to annex this region to Russia in exchange for 3 years of war. However, Erdogan has loudly warned against Putin's plan from Ankara and opposed Ukraine becoming a colonial state. If the Turkish leader's warning is not heeded, it is likely that the Ankara government will continue to support Ukraine, albeit on its own. So far, this is the first time that Erdogan and Putin have confronted each other so sharply. In Riyadh, the US side discussed military aid to Ukraine after meeting with the Russian delegation. The White House announced that they would continue this aid in exchange for 50% of Ukraine's natural resources. Trump has previously said that he would like Ukraine to repay US support by giving Washington access to the country's vast but unexplored rare earth minerals. However, the Ukrainian president was not keen on this proposal and flatly rejected it. The White House, for its part, criticized Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's refusal to sign an agreement that would give the United States access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals, calling it short-sighted. So how could Zelenskyy potentially turn down military aid from the United States in one fell swoop? Did the Ukrainian leader's refusal have anything to do with the summit in Turkey? Could Erdogan's supportive messages to Ukraine have empowered Zelenskyy in this regard? Now, we will discover the answers to these critical questions together. We will explore what Turkey can do for Ukraine in the future. What agreements were signed between Erdogan and Zelenskyy after this critical summit? And what approaches the EU and the US will adopt to this rapprochement between Turkey and Ukraine? But first of all, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and give us a like to stay informed about our content. All this is completely free of charge. Now let's get started. First of all, let's dive into this strategic process that started with Erdogan's unexpected hosting of Zelenskyy. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan reiterated Ankara's commitment to Ukraine's territorial integrity and sovereignty, which he said were non-negotiable. Speaking at a press conference in Ankara after his meeting with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy, Erdogan also emphasized that US President Donald Trump's peace move is in line with Turkey's policy since the full-scale war began 3 years ago. Erdogan said Turkey could be a good address for possible peace talks that could include Russia. He was referring to Turkey as an ideal host for possible peace talks on Russia's war against Ukraine, and could offer Ankara a platform for future negotiations. Erdogan also pointed to Turkey's previous mediation efforts, including the Black Sea Grain Agreement, which allows Ukraine's agricultural exports until Russia's withdrawal in 2023. The Turkish leader also focused on the fact that economic ties between the two countries would increase dramatically after this important summit. After the talks, it was reported that Ukraine aims to increase its trade volume with Turkey to $10 billion. Ukraine's first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Economy, Yulia Sviridenko, summarized this more clearly in her statement after her meeting with Turkish Trade Minister Ömer Bolat. Sviridenko confirmed that Kiev and Ankara are interested in expanding bilateral trade and aim to increase bilateral trade from $6.2 billion to $10 billion in 2024. Exports from Ukraine to Turkey fell 6.8% year-on-year to 2.21 billion in 2020, while imports from Turkey fell 10.2% to $4.24 billion, the state statistics service reported. Turkey accounted for 5.3% of Ukraine's merchandise exports and 6.0% of its imports last year. The summit is likely to create an incredible economic network between the two countries. Turkish President Erdogan also emphasized that the dynamics will continue in a positive direction, sending messages that these planned economic relations with Ukraine will benefit both sides. Erdogan's remarks came after US and Russian delegations held preliminary talks in Saudi Arabia on a range of issues, including Ukraine. Erdogan was demonstrating both his support for Ukrainian sovereignty and that Turkey was not at odds with the United States on this issue. Moreover, another conclusion to be drawn from all these assessments that Erdogan made at the summit is that if Putin rejects the peace proposal put forward by Erdogan, Turkey will be more intensely involved in the process. When the question arises as to how Turkey can be more intensively involved in this process, the answer is the country's land, sea and air power capabilities, potential and military assets. Due to its geostrategic structure, Turkey can actually block Russia very easily in the Black Sea. Already since the beginning of the war, the Ankara government has not allowed Russian warships to pass through the Istanbul and Dardanelles Straits. Turkey derives this right to block them from the Montreux Convention on the Straits. Turkey has the power to end the war not only through its decision to prevent Russian warships from passing through the Straits, but also through its naval support for Ukraine. The sending of the Hetman Ivan Mazepa corvette to Ukraine has already proved the Ankara government's support for Kiev. Now we may witness more Turkish naval support for Ukraine. In Erdogan's words, Crimea should be fully Ukraine's, and the necessary steps should be taken to achieve this. And the way to achieve this is through the Black Sea. Therefore, if Turkish leader Erdogan wants to prepare the ground for the return of Crimea to the Ukrainians, he needs to strengthen Kiev's navy. Another possibility is Turkey's tariff on General Khalifa Haftar in Libya. Haftar, who was backed by Russia, was defeated by Turkish drones, troops and navy ships transported to Libya by Ankara. Turkey has the potential to achieve success against Russia in the Black Sea with a strategy similar to the Blue Homeland Doctrine it implemented in Libya. We can understand this more clearly by looking at the incredible steps the Turkish Navy has recently taken. In short, Turkey is an important NATO member with the potential to both support Ukraine militarily and confront Russia on land, sea and air. Its presence in the Black Sea has made Turkey the actor that can impose the toughest buffer against Russia. Erdogan is making good use of these advantages. The Turkish president is also developing positive relations with US leader Donald Trump, trying to chart the best course for how peace talks should proceed. The fact that Erdogan and Trump have been on good terms lately is one of the details pointing to the fact that the US will be on the side of steering the peace process with Turkey and EU members. Erdogan has said that EU members should also be involved in the negotiations. However, it is not clear at the moment what the EU will do in this regard. The EU wing wants Ukraine to be supported militarily and wants Russia to be completely defeated. Europe has problems with the US on this issue, but these problems may be solved in the future. Turkey's strategy is clear. The Ankara government is preparing for a peace process that it can carry out together with the US while preserving Ukraine's territorial